In this video, I'll be going over the end-to-end process of building my first SaaS product. I built an AI web app called Review My Paper. It allows you to receive detailed and actionable feedback on your academic research work within minutes, powered by AI. It will send you an email with a shareable PDF report that looks something like this. It'll include an overall assessment, various strengths and weaknesses, flags and questions to address before submission, as well as recommendations for each section. In this video, I'll be going over how I came up with the idea, the planning of the idea, the tech stack that I used, challenges in building that I faced, the launch, and kind of next steps. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Kaushik. I'm a former engineer at AWS and a former engineering manager at Scale AI. And I'm currently working on building a portfolio apps full-time. So the idea, how did I come up with this, right? So I saw many research paper apps, kind of like Jenny AI, that were really popular and trending. I thought it was a really cool idea. I was pretty inspired by their story, actually. The founder was also building in public, and they had posted that they'd grown their app to kind of $3 million in ARR, which is amazing. So is there something that they're doing that I could do a little bit differently? Like, what is my own unique insight here? I thought back to my master's, where I had an experience writing a research paper as well. And I submitted the paper to the journal and I received some feedback. I got one strong yes, one weak yes, and one weak no. And eventually they ultimately decided to actually reject the paper. And I was pretty disappointed. And this is my first time submitting a paper. And if only I'd kind of gotten the review and feedback kind of beforehand, before actually submitting to the journal before the final submission date, maybe I could have actually had a published paper today. So that's kind of where the idea seeded from. I was like, okay, what if we can use AI to actually get peer reviews for folks submitting papers before they actually submit them to the journal? So I wanted to better understand, what are the KPIs for researchers and academics, KPIs being key performance indicators. And I just kind of asked ChatGPT, hey, like, what are the KPIs for researchers and academics? And it gave me this large list. So publication success rate, H-index, the impact factor of the journal they're publishing in, citation count, et cetera, et cetera. From there, I clearly defined the problem that I was tackling. So I decided to tackle researchers who are publishing to a journal, especially for the first time, kind of need to anticipate what the peer review feedback could be from these reviewers and what would prevent them from receiving approvals. So I decided from here, like, hey, this is definitely a problem I have, and this is definitely a problem that is interesting enough for me to feel like it's worth pursuing. And the key performance indicator that we're trying to move is the publication success rate. From there, I kind of came up with the exact MVP that I would build. So what is the minimum viable product? What are the bare bones features that could be just enough to have someone have this problem be solved? It might not be solved in the best way or the best form, but what is that minimal kind of step to do that? And what I came up with was just a GPT wrapper for a particular academic journal that can give you line by line feedback on a paper that you're currently working on. And any other ideas I had, I just put in this potential iteration section. These are things that I think that would be useful, but I know it's not worth pursuing at this moment in time because we want to first validate quickly that this is a problem or people are like actually interested in using such a solution. Now going into how I picked the tech stack. So common advice has been pick kind of what you're familiar with. But a lot of the projects I've done have been in production settings, and those tools may not necessarily be affordable for kind of a SaaS setting, especially when you're working on a project on your own and you're trying to bootstrap it and stand it up on your own. So I decided to pick a stack that I plan on using for future apps, and kind of get more familiar with that tech stack. I actually think it's worthwhile spending a little bit of time thinking about what stack you want to use. This is almost like a one-way door. It's an early investment into learning the technology, and likely you're gonna stick with what you like and what you use. I landed on Next.js because I had React and TypeScript experience from my previous role. Vercel to host the website, Supabase for the backend, Supabase because it uses Postgres. I have Postgres experience as well. And for serverless functions, I used AWS Lambda. AWS is also something I've had experience in the past. For sending emails, I used Resend. And then the OpenAI API, of course, to call GPT. For payments, I actually used Paddle instead of Stripe. I can probably go into why in maybe a future video. That's actually like an interesting trade-off that I spent a lot of time on. And then Dynadot to do register my domain, and then Cloudflare to manage my TNS. Awesome. Now getting into the launch. So I didn't have a strong kind of adoption or marketing plan for this. That's probably something I'll change with future applications, but kind of just wanted to put it out there, and get some immediate feedback. So the very first place I posted was LinkedIn. Most of my LinkedIn is other software engineers and other people in engineering, so it wasn't really my target market. So that is something to keep in mind, but I got some good feedback. I got some initial exposure. I got folks to try it out. I also posted on a couple of research forums like ResearchGate, and there I didn't get too much traction. I got like 15 or 20 views. I also posted to Reddit, and that's where I got a lot of hate. Also, obviously, self-promo and posting links on Reddit is kind of looked down upon. But I posted in r/askacademia, and I got absolutely obliterated. One of the top comments was, this is all just a ploy to take our data, and you're going to be stealing our IP. And their comment had 20 upvotes. So I did update this copy, and then also I started with the price at $1, but then I've just updated it to $5 per upload instead. I felt like $1 made it sound too scammy, and didn't actually like. It's that hey, this is way too cheap for what it's worth. Like, what are you actually trying to do with my data? And then from there, I also started doing some cold emails using a tool called Apollo.io. And yeah, I just set up like an email sequence, and I'm reaching out to over 30,000 researchers and PhD students over the next month. And that's all going to be automated. I can make another video on exactly how that works in the future. Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments. I'll try to get to every one of them. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.